Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. First thing first, I would like to thank everybody for watching and enjoying my videos. I hope that I can teach you stuff and that I can also learn from you guys as we go through this journey to my $500,000 mark together. I did not start this channel with the express purpose to gain a lot of followers or anything like that. But I'm kind of glad that it's coming along the way it is. I'm definitely learning a lot about both finances by researching the topics for each of these videos, and from like the whole video production side of it, which actually takes a little bit more work than I thought with the editing, the trying to think up things to say, different points to hit in each video, and the just getting everything ready for YouTube with making the thumbnails and make sure the video looks good and the sound adds up and stuff like that. And I'm sure you guys have all seen problems that I'm having while I'm learning, but keep in mind I am learning. This is a process for all of us. So today's topic, I want to talk to you about budgeting with a partner. Now the reason that this is important is because many of us are not single. We either have wife, husband, fiancés, girlfriend, boyfriend. Whatever you have, most of us are going through trying to budget it with the cooperation of somebody else. This could be a huge problem if you and the other person have different priorities. Now, I have never hid my my priority over finances from my current fiance. She's always known from the beginning that I am very money centric. I am very interested in finance and getting ready for retirement and stuff like that. I told her the story of how I had an uncle who was like 60 when he passed away, and he was still working as an HVAC tech like up till a week before he died of a brain tumor. Now he knew he had the brain tumor, but he had to continue to work. Why? Because he had some bad habits that resulted in him wasting a lot of his money, and he never saved for retirement or anything. I remember when years and years before that, when he first started getting sick with something else, I asked him, when are you going to retire? And he just looked at me and said, I'm going to work until I die. And that terrified me. So I've come to the conclusion that will never happen to me, and I told my fiance this. So the way we decided to do things, we're going to keep our independent checking savings accounts each, and we don't monitor what each other's doing. That's not really how our relationship works. But what we do have is a joint checking and savings account, and we place money into that. We each pay our share, and then that goes to all the bills. Now, what's left is not exactly disposable income. For example, if I went out and bought like a new car, she would have some questions about that, even though that money isn't exactly shared. And it's because we do have shared goals. She has her IRA and retirement funds and all the stuff that she's doing. Plus, she's getting a pension with the Navy. And I have my stuff. But we talk about what each other's doing so we can both combine our resources to meet certain goals. Conservatively, even if I fail to meet my current goal, which I'm not going to, even if I fail to meet my current goal, we are actually heavily overly invested for retirement, which is a very good thing. It means that we'll hit either our goals sooner, or we'll just have sort of a fatter account when retirement comes, which is, either way, it's a good thing for us. So when we talk, the first thing we discuss is what retirement looks like to us and what we want out of retirement. Pretty much one of our main things is that we don't want to have to worry about money. But keep in mind that we only have one kid right now, and we're thinking about having another. But our current son's probably going to get scholarships and grants and stuff for college. We're also saving for his college fund, but I don't feel the need to pay for his college when he starts college. My plan for him has always been when he graduates from college, my fiance and I will look at our financial situation to see if we can pay off his loans. But that's kind of a different story about how I believe that kids work harder when they have to do all the work to get the money themselves. Because I knew too many people who went to college on their parents' dime and then they just stopped going or quit or whatever. So we talked about what we want out of retirement. And then we have to figure out what a numerical value attached to that is. That is super complicated, especially if you're with somebody who might not think as much about the future as you do. So what I found was best was that find out whoever's plan, figure out the most expensive scenario and plan for that. My retirement, providing my property is paid off, probably looks to be about an income of about $5,000 a month at least. Now, in the future, I plan on being in a lower tax bracket, which is good for me, and it kind of falls in line with our plan. But still, $5,000 take home is still $5,000. It's still $60,000 a year, and that still means I need to have an income of about 80 plus thousand. Now, in addition, our plan for healthcare is that my fiance is military. When she retires, we both get healthcare covered by that. That's providing that we all don't just have free healthcare in 5 years, which I'm kind of thinking we will, but until we know that for sure, this is what we're doing. Now that covers two things. That covers our general income and that covers our health care. Third thing, where are we going to live? I am a strong proponent. I think it's proponent. I'm very much for you having your home paid off before retirement. Now, I bought my first home at 26, I believe. So at 26, I have my first home. That means I'll pay it off at 56. My current home in Virginia Beach, I bought when I was 34. Jeez, 8 years in between purchases. Just let you know, to me, that's not good. I should have bought something in the middle and I didn't. I wasted some money. So I'm planning on retiring somewhere around 65. It kind of escapes me at which age you're eligible for, not early Social Security, but normal Social Security, but that's pretty much what I want to have. I want to get normal Social Security and retire. So my plan is to have my property paid off by then, which will require me to pay additional payments into whatever house we want to live in. The problem is that we have no idea where we want to live. Right now we live in Virginia Beach, and we're pretty much guaranteed to be there for another 2 years. After that, who knows? So, by buying and renting out, we now have houses in different cities, and we will continue this trend as we move around and as we go to different cities, with the idea being that by the time we retire, at least a couple of these properties will be paid off. Now, if we need a place to live, we'll be getting residual income from these properties, which could offset the price of our current living. Or we could just sell one of the houses that's paid off and then pay off wherever we need to live or wherever we want to live. By that time, we might not even want to live in a house anymore. We might be thinking something small or something without a yard. It really depends on what kind of shape we're in. Her and I both live very active and taxing lifestyles. We both deploy regularly. We're both in the military. We're both required to run. Both of us have knee and back pain. So this is just, we might not want to live in a high maintenance home when we can just buy a condo, but that's going to be our choice when we retire. So her and I talk a lot about that. Now the problem with me and her is accountability. Because we have our separate checking accounts that pretty much most of our day-to-day stuff comes out of. For example, let's say I stop for gas and I want to go and get myself like a soda or a bottle of water or something instead of just, not, or just going home and getting it. I'm not accountable to her, and she's not accountable for me for her very, we'll say, addictive coffee habit. And that's fine, but we always have open communication about what each other's spending. Now, I could understand the problem if you're with somebody who might not be open and honest with you about what they're doing. And to me, if you're with somebody who you're not able to talk about finances with on a regular basis and try to develop plans together, that's kind of a red flag for a relationship. Personally, I would not be involved in a relationship like that, or at least I'd be very careful about it, because if you have somebody who, say they go out and they spend money on, I don't know, shoes. Because I'm a guy, of course, we just assume all women spend their money on shoes. So shoes. She goes out and buys the latest and greatest name brand shoes for however many hundreds of dollars. If she was to hide that from you, that might not be a big deal to some people, but to me it is. It's because it's not that I care about what you spend your money on, but the fact that you want to hide it means that you thought I wouldn't like it and you decide to do it anyway when it should be something we talked about. And again, it's just trying to align your priorities and your partner's priorities. Ideally, they should not come to your level and you should not go to their level. You guys should meet somewhere in the middle. If you're a very frugal person, you're with somebody who likes to shop a lot, you guys can make it work, if you actually want to try to make it work, or at least I believe that. I really like to believe that if people really want to work things out, they can. I'm not sure how practical that is. I will tell you, in my personal relationships, I've always been able to find some sort of middle ground and agreement with how to approach these kind of situations. Now, the final problem I have is tracking. We have a lot of different accounts between the two of us. We have a lot of different goals, a lot of different retirement aspects and stuff going on, and we have a lot of different property. So the problem is when we track our spending, it's very hard to do. I'm only tracking my stuff and our joint stuff. I don't track her stuff. So what we have to do is about once a week. Usually I go into my finances when I'm home about once a week and kind of make sure everything's doing what it's supposed to be doing, besides checking the apps that I have on my phone. I find what works best with my fiance is to sit down in the home office and have like a little bit of a meeting where I explain to her, here's what we did this week and here's what we're trying to do, how are you doing with your retirement stuff, and then she updates me on what's going on and how she's doing, and lately it's kind of morphed into sort of this bragging thing because we're trying to outperform each other with credit scores. Her and I both started our credit scores kind of over about the same time because I went through my divorce and that was a major hit to my credit, and I'll explain all that in another video. Well, about the same time, she kind of got serious about her credit, so ours have been growing together, and on my one credit score, I'm at 788, which is not the coveted 800 yet, but I'm getting close. And I think I'm going to beat her to the 800 mark. I'm a little higher than she is right now, and I'm trying to beat her there. I need to wait a couple more months for some of the age of my accounts to grow, and I think that'll push me over the edge. Okay, that about wraps it up. Thank you for watching this video, and thanks for watching to this point in the video if you're still here. I hope you learned something from this. I definitely took some time to kind of write down different points I want to go over and kind of practice to make sure that I was going over what I wanted to. Definitely leave comments about who manages the budget at your house, or how you kind of negotiate the treacheries of trying to figure out how you guys are going to manage budgets together. I'd love to hear your stories, and maybe I'll learn something from you guys. Anyway, if you liked the video, give me a like, a share, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Thanks for watching, and keep saving.